don't tap to your own fucking move. Okay. The story that it always goes is that if you get hit with your own move in a wrestling match, the guy who's hitting it on you has never does it well enough that you do, because that's your move. It's your
Correct.
signature finisher. So you are the master of that move, and you should never be beat by your own move. Let alone tap out within 4 seconds of it getting locked on because you're fucking short on time. So they're calling Hezo, let's go home, boys. And it's like, and he lost to a guy who I don't think deserved the title right now. They could have waited till SummerSlam to do it, and I also lost some money.
Maybe they're having
I
him
also
get it
lost
back
money
at
on it.
SummerSlam.
So
Oh, that's why you're
That's
mad.
the real reason. Okay.
because
Okay.
I was like, there's no fucking way he's not going to win. Like that, like they have to. Yeah, and I lost money.
Funny enough, I've got a friend over on Chris's network. That David, he predicted every single one. He actually like guessed every single match right.
I mean, for the most part, night one was very obvious. Like, their storytelling has become more obvious than ever, and I think that is to try to get casual fans back in, because they did the hell's that thing called? They went to Netflix, so they've seen this big boom in like casual fandom coming back.
Sure.
So I think a lot of their storytelling needs to be simple right now. So for like veteran fans, it's like, oh yeah, well he's obviously gonna win. Like this is the story they're telling and stuff. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought they would pull a swerve and not have Uso go over and Gunther being. I have a shirt back when he was Walter that says, uh, "Others wrestle, Walter kills," and it's just him slapping a dude in the chest, and you can literally see the shock waves across the dude's chest where he
That's
slapped.
actually kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because he kills people. It's awesome. Brothers, sisters, gender resistors, welcome to another episode for the first time ever called "The Boys Have to Listen to Me Talk About WrestleMania."
That's
for the
the
next
next time ever.
I literally brought it up
Yeah,
before we
that's
started.
actually that's true. Rod's like, no, I have to listen to this in the fucking boys chat regularly.
And I'm pretty sure we have an episode
about once a year. I have to listen to Chuck talk about WrestleMania.
That's
well,
true.
No, there was literally, you just reminded me that there was an episode we had, I don't remember when, that you watched it in the background while we were recording.
Probably last year.
It was about this time last year. Check the archives for this time last year while I watched WrestleMania in the background and tried to not react to it while it was happening.
But better than WrestleMania, this week we watched The Phantom from 1996.
Hey, to tie it back into wrestling, the only thing I ever knew about The Phantom was he had a ring that I thought tattooed people when he punched them, or like burned hit.
It brands them.
Brands them, basically.
But for some reason I always thought it was like a tattoo. Now it didn't look like a brand; it looked like a ink stamp. But I may be thinking of like the toy that came out for this, because I definitely had a Phantom toy that had a ring that I think was like an ink stamp.
So you could have gotten that to burn people if you would have stuck it against the cigarette lighter first.
Ooh,
that's not got a point there.
Yeah, you got me there. And also famously, Halloween Havoc '97, Rey Mysterio comes out in a Phantom, like Rey Mysterio style, but it was the Phantom outfit, like luchador suit, which is one of the greatest matches of all time. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc '97. Look it up on YouTube. Where Eddie beats the shit out of Rey Mysterio for like 7-8 minutes and tries to rip his mask off, and he's bloody, and great storytelling.
See, so like you were saying that we had to listen to you talk about wrestling, but there was a wrestling component with it. I actually did see that in the trivia, so that was kind of fun. That's kind of
it was really cool. That was kind of the first time we'd ever seen a guy do gear based off of something like that was like an homage to something that was popular in pop culture at the time.
Yeah.
So like that was cool and different. It's like the first time. Now they do it every fucking pay-per-view.
I mean, literally, this one had this past WrestleMania had what the warmongers dressing up as Clash of Clan.
Oh, the Viking Raiders.
Whatever they're called, yeah. So yeah,
hey, don't get me started on those guys. I fucking love them on the Indies and War Machine. It was awesome. But anyway.
Okay. Anyway, but let's talk about the Phantom.
Yeah.
So
Phantom.
I love this movie. I grew up with this movie. Ron, yeah, I figured you've
seen it. Simon watched it with me, and he's like, "Man, this is awesome." He's like, "I was expecting it to be bad because I've never heard of the Phantom. I've never heard of the comic or the movie, and it ended up being
cheesy.
Really good.
It's definitely cheesy
in a good way.
Yes,
they took themselves just the right amount of serious in this.
Yeah, Chuck, first time watching it.
Have you seen it before? No, this is the first time I'd ever seen it. The only thing I'd ever seen as a kid was the trailers.
Okay.
And I just very distinctly remember the ring. I remember the costume and thinking that the costume looked really cool. And him riding is a shadow as his horse.
I think so. They never said it in the movie, as far as I know.
Oh, they did? I thought they called the horse Shadow, and the wolf, his wolf is named Devil.
Maybe they
the wolf's name is Devil. I don't remember the horse's name.
Yeah, I just remember. I remember the wolf's name.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
so.
they kept calling him a ghost. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, his nickname is Ghost That Walks.
Right. Don't all ghosts walk?
No, usually they float.
Well, yeah, I guess that's right.
So funny thing. So I had to rent this through Amazon because I thought I had it on DVD, but I didn't.
I ordered it on Blu-ray, but I also had to watch it on Amazon because it didn't get here in time.
Nice. I go to hit play, and it starts me 14 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, "What the hell?"
You'd already started watching it, apparently.
I think at some point in time, I had turned it on while it was on Amazon for free, and then shut it off, and then it just started me right back where I left it.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I also had to watch it on Amazon. I contemplated trying to find out an archive, but archive kind of sucks sometimes to try to find stuff. So, but yeah, I gave Bezos my $4. I also, in context, I watched this while also trying to get work done at my job because I'm still working every weekend.
Overworked.
That's a shame.
Yeah. That being said, I had a lot of feelings when this ended. And my one big takeaway is, man, they don't make movies like this anymore.
Right.
Like watching this movie where it's like it's clearly set built, like actual set built, not green screen, but like literal set built. I mean, yeah, sure, like maybe a little bit.
There's some CGI, and there's one thing I noticed this time around that I've never noticed before, and we'll get into it. But everything on here is all set. Everything in here is practical.
I mean, look at things like the Avengers and Marvel movies now. The entire thing shot on a green screen set, and they just fucking computer generate everything around them.
Yep.
Even their suits nowadays, like their suits are all mocap, and then they put the suits on them afterwards.
So like seeing this now, it's just like this is like a lost art in movie making. And like the choreography is just different. In a lot of ways, I guess more because they aren't using like tightrope stuff, or like wire stuff because Matrix
some of it they are.
I mean, some of it, but like not like I would argue that when Matrix came out, that changed how fight scenes collectively just all over the place changed, right?
100%. Yeah, along with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like the combination of the two of those changed the dynamics of fight scenes going forward.
And I realized, back to wrestling, it changed, like the change in wrestling that I didn't like was it went from this is a fucking fight and we're gonna brawl to like flippy dippy stuff. Is like they don't make fight scenes like this anymore, where it is like it feels like it is a brawl in a fight versus we're just gonna do a bunch of moves to each other and like make a fight scene out of it, if that makes sense. Okay. I also forgot that he uses a gun for some reason. I don't know why, but I was just like, yeah, no, he's like Batman, like he's not lethal. And then he like pats his gun, and I was like, oh shit, no, Batman's got a gun. Like,
yes,
he's non-lethal when he shoots people, though. He only shoots like their guns out of their hands or whatever they're holding.
He shoots their weapons. He doesn't actually kill them. Yeah, correct.
Simon
also
pointed out,
that does bring up an interesting question: is are you classified as non-lethal if you use a gun, but you don't like you only shoot weapons out of people's hands?
There is I can't remember what movie it is, but it's a Western where I think you'd be
Roy Rogers,
but he shot everybody's trigger finger off. I don't think it was Roy Rogers.
He just shoots the guns out of their hands, I think. That's like an old Western.
Maybe I'm thinking of Maverick. Might be thinking of Maverick.
No, because see, Maverick's a quick draw. He's just a terrible shot.
Yeah, but there was a specific movie where this cowboy like shot off everybody's trigger finger, and I can't remember what it is now.
I don't know. But does that classify him as non-lethal then?
See, that's what I was trying to get at. Like he actually, I guess he'd be lethal because he shot their fingers off, whereas the Phantom here would be non-lethal because he specifically shot the swords, shot the guns. He never actually, like looking back on it, he didn't kill anybody indirectly.
Looks like Pecos Bill did it in Tall Tale.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, thank you.
Interesting. Yeah, it just like it brought like I don't know, because like you think of like a taser is classified as a non-lethal weapon, but it does potentially kill people.
It can kill people.
Yeah, especially when you think it's your gun's your taser and shoot somebody.
That's true. And you do it multiple times over and over and over again. But so like
when
the
when
concept
you keep
of
the trigger, you figure out that it's not a taser. But anyway,
that's true. But like that's classified. Like a billy club is classified as a non-lethal weapon, but they've like killed people with. So it's interesting. It's like, is the weapon the classification or is the intent the classification?
I'd say the intent.
It's like the ship of Theseus.
I mean, you could kill somebody with a fork. Like,
I mean, you kill somebody with a spoon. Like if you literally.
You can kill somebody with your bare hands if you try. You know what I mean?
Like if you try hard enough, you can kill anybody with anything. I can kill somebody with a playing card. Very Gambit-like, you know.
Got him. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, the point is, I forgot he has a gun. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
So jumping back real quick, you were saying how like the aesthetic of everything is better. We had talked about practical effects. I found out in the IMDb that Billy Zane, who played Kit, the Phantom, he actually shaved his head so that the mask would fit better. It would look sleeker. So they actually, every shot with him with hair was filmed first, and then they went back and did all of his Phantom stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, he's objectively hot enough, especially at this time, that he would be fine bald.
He could have been watching this. There's no way you cannot sit here and tell me that he could not have been Batman. He could have easily been Batman in the Batman and Robin movie. He could have been.
Sure. Was he supposed to be?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. He could have been on the short list, but I guarantee the reason why George Clooney got that role was because of his popularity. Because
they had to get the pop,
Yeah, but I'm saying the way Billy Zane was going here. Although the other thing is this movie was supposed to be the first of a trilogy, so he would not have been available to be Batman 2 years later. But then this movie kind of flopped, and which sucks because this really was a fun movie. Like, I remember watching this as a kid and just loving it from the get-go. This one and
Same.
Rocketeer I watched all the time, basically together.
Yeah, I can I think like this Rocketeer. When I was watching this, I guess spoilers here a little bit for my score and stuff. I had the same reaction to this as I did when I watched Princess Bride the first time, which is I don't really know what this movie's about. I know that people like it, like you two were telling me how great it is, but I just don't think this is going to be for me. And I have a preconceived notion that this is going to be a really boring, like drawn out comic movie. And I was pleasantly surprised of how much I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. It's a solid plot. Like, I mean, there are
some
problems.
It has a good plot. It moves forward. Like the whole movie, you're constantly moving forward. You don't have like these stale spots or like these like, oh, when is this going to get over so it can get back to like action or whatever.
Yeah. My other big takeaway.
Catherine Zeta-Jones looks so hot in this.
Oh yeah, stupid hot.
And so does Christy Swanson. Yeah. And dude, Christy Swanson's ass is so fat in this. Like,
Catherine Zeta-Jones was the bad.
Yes, she was Sala. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, those guys were Nazis, right?
No.
Oh, I thought they were trying to be Nazis without being Nazis.
I think they were like, you could maybe call them proto-Nazis. I mean, the story takes place in 1938, 1939. Like it doesn't have a distinct time, but we start out
1938 is when it says it starts.
We start in 38, but when they get to the museum in New York, it says like 1939.
Well, and they make reference to like dictators are starting to pop up all over the world.
They talk about like Europe being in trouble. So it's on the brink of war, which started in September. So like there's no definitive time frame here. So you could say it's about a year-ish storytelling.
My other takeaway from the movie was I don't. Would you classify this as pulp?
I would.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
considering where it's from, yeah.
Yeah, so like I definitely consider this like it felt like a pulp thing, and I realized I don't watch nearly enough pulp stuff. Like I like the concept of like I guess now in today's standards, more of a period piece that has a supernatural aspect about it, but is like set in the modern era. Like, I guess like Indiana Jones is like pulp in that sense too. And I really like Indiana Jones, and I don't watch it all that much. And I really liked this, and I realized it's like I don't watch a lot of pulp because in my brain I inherently think it's going to be boring, and then I'm pleasantly surprised that I like it. But I also don't want to go out of my way to watch more because I'm afraid I'll start finding stuff that isn't as good as the stuff I've watched, and it will kill my interest in it altogether.
Sure. So you could consider, I would probably maybe consider Rocketeer pulp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dick Tracy, The Shadow. Basically, these comic movies from the mid '90s, early to mid '90s, were more of a pulp hero aesthetic.
Yeah,
and we enjoyed all those. I mean, Shadow was a little bit lower, if I remember correctly.
Well,
Shadow was a lot lower. That's because it had a shit story.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Going into this, I thought I was gonna get like The Shadow again.
Sure, of course. Yeah. Not knowing it, never watching it before, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now going into it this time around, there was a couple things I noticed that I never saw before. Like one thing in particular talked about. Well, actually, I'll bring it up now. There's a special effects scene when they're on the dock. The first time we get to the dock and we see the people going into the plane. Here's the plane. They're walking right into it and they just disappear. Like it just the CGI green screen wherever they had wasn't great.
Wasn't set up right.
Wasn't set up right. It would probably it would be the right term. But you just see them, and instead of like you would see them walking into the open door, you see them disappear before they get to what the door would be. So I'm like, oh, that's okay, interesting. The second thing, which I really, really did enjoy, was toward the end when Xander Drax is talking to what's his name? Sang. And he's basically saying, whatever. He's basically saying, I've got the 3 skulls, it'll be great. And he's just like, yeah, without the 4th skull, doesn't mean anything, whatever he says. And you see Quill behind Xander counting, like I never noticed that before. It was great.
Dude, okay, you have to give him mad props though. The dude that plays Quill or
Jeremy Reamer, yeah,
because this is the only movie I think I've ever seen him in where he actually acts well. Because like we got him in
James
Mortal Kombat, we got him in Mortal Kombat
2.
Yeah, we got him in Judge Dredd.
Yep.
And like all those roles, like he is just tacky as shit. But in this one, I actually like him as like the role that he's in.
I mean, he's a great actor, and I recognize him more from Dexter when I watched Dexter back in the day because he was the dad.
Okay, that's fair.
But he was also dead, like he was a ghost to his son or something. It was the whole thing. Anyway,
so the explosions in this.
Yeah, I got them written down actually.
Like so was that truck just made out of C4 and gasoline? Because like as soon as it just like touches the bottom, it explodes. Simon and I like because that exploded, like one of the planes exploded, like a bunch of shit exploded, and then Simon was like, "Oh great, watch, the horse is gonna hit a tree and then it's gonna explode."
To be fair, it was the 30s. Like everything just exploded for no reason in the 30s.
What they loaded everything up with gas.
Yeah, they were figuring it out. Crude oil, crude gas oil.
Yeah, I have written down things blowing up. It's got the truck, it's got the seaplane, which about that plane, I'm pretty certain they did not have, and I could be wrong because I don't know, obviously, plane mechanics, but I don't think you'd have gasoline in the wings, especially on a biplane, especially the top wing. Wouldn't you have it more
that way
to the engine?
Gravity feeds it down.
Look, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know planes.
But I will say this. I don't know how they got from New York to off the coast of Africa in that plane without refueling. In that little plane that they were in. Towards the end of the movie when they're going to the whatever island.
Yeah, we don't actually say what island, do they?
Well, but when it burns the hole in the map of where it's supposed to be, it's like all the way across the Atlantic from them.
Oh wait, there's Devil's Triangle. Yeah, so that's over by Japan. Or Devil's, what's it called? Is that not Devil's Triangle? It's Devil's Vortex. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
which is the opposite side of the Bermuda Triangle, which is over by Japan, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. On the map, it looked like it was by Africa, but
regardless, you're still flying.
Yeah,
on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, in a tiny little plane. There's no way.
There's also no way in one night as well.
Allegedly. Yeah. Well, I mean that's not true. You can make it 6 hours across to like from Detroit to France is like 6 hours.
Okay. On my 747 now.
Yeah.
But how in the hell did the Phantom hold on the entire time?
Not to mention that when he got on there, he was like sopping wet.
Uh-huh.
Once they hit a certain altitude, he would have just crossed it up into an ice cube.
Yep.
Maybe that's how he held on. Maybe he just clasped his hands. When it froze, he froze all around it. And then, when he started thawing out was when he had to hold back on.
I don't know. What else do I have here?
So we had a lot of people that showed up from other movies. We had Christy Swanson from Buffy. Okay. We had the dude that played Raiden from Judge Dredd. We had
who was supposed to be an alien, but had a Alien 2, but had a drug problem or something. I can't remember which.
Interesting.
We talked about that in Alien.
Yeah. 2. The mayor, I think it's the mayor, was also the police captain from Double Dragon that was Alyssa Milano's dad.
The mayor was the younger of the two.
The police captain was the old guy with the white hair, right? Because he's the one that he's in what's-his-face's pocket.
Yeah.
And then the mayor is the other guy that's with him.
Yes. The mayor's the one who went and sees him at the docks or wherever to tell him that. Yeah. Okay.
Like in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's the dad, the cop dad from Double Dragon.
Cool. Don't remember that.
Let's see. What else was there? I feel like we've seen Shang Tsung in something else other than Mortal Kombat.
But we haven't even watched Mortal Kombat yet.
I know. I was just talking about like I thought he was in another one of the movies, but I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, he is a I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name because I do not want to insult him. So, Planet of the Apes, Tekken, License to Kill.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Maybe he was just in Tekken, and for some reason I was thinking that we. But anyways, regardless, he's been in a lot of movies. And then
wait, Tekken the fighting game? Tekken the movie?
The movie, yeah,
came out in 2010.
It's not
live
good.
Action or an animated?
Yeah, it's very live action. Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And then Al, the taxi driver, is one of the detectives from Ace Ventura.
Elektra. Oh, we'll see him again in Elektra. Sorry.
You know what? That might be what I was thinking. I might have been thinking Daredevil, but it was Elektra.
Let's see here. Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
What a terrible
Space
movie.
Rangers. What the heck is that? Yeah, okay. Sorry, just looking through. And yeah, Al from what'd you say it was from?
Al, the taxi driver, is one of the like detectives in Ace Ventura, the first one.
So we haven't seen that on the show though. So
yeah, I know. I was just stating that like where I knew him from.
All right. Very cool, very cool. So one thing that always, I don't want to say bugged me, but I guess bugged me more now is Sala, Catherine Zeta-Jones's character, switching sides. I never really understood that, and watching now in this one, actually paying attention, having Diana basically tell her off like, why do you so mean? Don't you care about anything? And then like at that point she starts to contemplate things, and that's when she decides to become a good guy.
Well, I think that she like the defining moment was when the dude was talking about, taking Diana and taking advantage of her, and then she was like, no, we're not going to have that. I mean, she is the captain of an all-female Air Force.
Yes, but before that, before they even get down there, like she basically says us girls got to stick together.
Well, she says that after she pushes that guy off of her, I thought.
I don't think it was.
I could be wrong, but
yeah, it was. It was after. It was after.
Okay. I don't know. I always thought it was weird, and watching it this time and paying attention, it still didn't really add up for me.
Something else that was weird. Simon noticed this before I did, but when they are going, like when they're being chased on the horseback through the woods and the guys are shooting at them, when they hit the trees spark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not notice that.
Yeah, Simon pointed it out to me.
Whoops.
It was also pretty epic that he stole a police horse when he's in New York. Because 1312, which we also get
even back in 1938.
Yep. Cops have always been bad. Did anybody else get tired of hearing, oh yeah, that's an old jungle saying? Like everything was an old jungle saying.
Yeah, but
I
they
get
were
it. That's
saying
a running joke.
Yeah, exactly. They were saying it
like
as a joke.
Everything.
I really thought that that captain of the African Guard or wherever they were, I really thought they were just going to show up right there in the beginning and then not show up again. I kind of forgot he shows up when the Phantom goes and sees them, and then in the cave itself.
Yeah.
So, because it has been some time since I've seen this movie.
They overdid the skull motif. I feel like there were so many skulls in this movie, like on the belts, on the
yeah, I should have counted skulls, but
we really should have. But like the skull cave, you know, like gee, I wonder where the Phantom's base is. You know, a big ass fucking skull on the side of a mountain. Like,
yeah, but it's also deep in the woods that's being protected by the rope people and
deep in the heart of the jungle.
Yeah. Thank you, George. But yeah.
But also, did this not have a bit of a white savior complex to it? Like,
that kind of ruined the movie for me. Was like, oh man, it's like white savior complex, and like they're trying to play it off because like he was a kid and he was accepted by the tribe. Let it be known that tribe realistically probably would have tried to eat that kid because he was an intruder and they were probably going to kill him.
But he wasn't an intruder. He was born there. He was born in that cave.
I mean,
no, the original kid, the one that landed on the island after he jumped off the ship.
Saw his dad die and became vengeful. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
you're not wrong there. Yeah.
Yeah, the white savior complex in this, and because like, and also like he's like filthy rich and like, can just kind of do whatever he wants and
filthy. So yes, okay, so he's filthy rich. Allegedly, he's super intelligent, and yet when he goes to New York, he conveniently forgets to bring American
but he also
money.
handed Al like probably $1,000 worth of jewels.
Sure, but if he's
in 1930 money,
yeah,
exactly. But if he's so smart, he would have known to prepare before he came to America.
Except he was in a hurry and he wasn't thinking because he was just thinking about seeing his hot ex-girlfriend.
But he wasn't in a hurry because it went from 1938, we don't know when, and then he gets there in 1939, sometime later. So it's been some like couple months.
Also,
not big of a hurry.
I'm not wrong in that this is not the first time he's been to the States.
No, he grew up there.
Right, because he like went to college and shit, and like so he like knows. He knows
currency. Yeah.
Maybe he was just hoping to play it off as like, oh, I don't have any money, I guess I can't pay you. And then when the guy was like, no, Bucko, you're gonna pay up, and he's like, oh, looky here, I have my lucky bag of gems that are worth more than you'll ever see in your lifetime, but that's fine.
I always appreciate. Go ahead.
It just felt like somebody who was writing the script saw Coming to America and thought it was the funniest thing they had ever seen, and was just like, okay, I'm going to just steal a bunch of those jokes and like incorporate them in here, and it's going to be funnier because this dude already lived in the already lived here, and it was not as funny. It was not as funny.
Oh, another person, not from anything that we've watched, but the ghost of his dad is Edward the Longshanks from Braveheart.
Oh yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, that movie.
I found his dad kind of annoying in the beginning.
He's kind of a dick, actually.
Yeah, like I love the idea that he was just like, yeah, he got away. Well, you can't. Like his dad was like, yeah, well, you can't win them all, whatever. Like it happens. He's like, yeah, he got the skull. He got the fucking skull, you piece of shit.
But the funniest part about this? The funniest part about this is that's the same dude that killed his dad. So like his dad fell for this dude, fell for a ploy from this dude, got stabbed in the back, literally.
Yeah, but Kit didn't know that. Kit didn't know that was the guy.
I know that he didn't know that, but you'd figure that his dad would be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that's the dude that killed me." Right.
If you've seen him.
I kind of got confused. Is his dad a figment of his imagination, or is his dad really a ghost haunting him?
Yes. It's never actually explained. I would assume for the supernatural elements, which we don't really have a lot. Well, we do have some of. He's actually a ghost that's haunting him.
Okay. I would assume that because there are a lot of supernatural things that happen in this, like his dog knowing exactly what he's saying, his dog talking to his horse.
The wolf, you mean?
Yeah, it's his dog.
Although, what's really funny is the wolf going onto the boat and nobody noticing until he calls them.
He rolled really good on his stealth.
Apparently, he did. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, you're right with the wolf and the horse communicating, telling him where he needs to go. Obviously, the whole ending with the skulls and all that. So there is some supernatural elements which would, lead credence to his dad's a ghost, talk to him. And it could also be one of those things where, the previous father, the previous phantom, will haunt you until you make an heir. Maybe, who knows? I don't know.
Gotta replant that family seed to get rid of the previous generation.
Kind of, basically, right? It makes sense.
Excuse me. When the going back to the cave though, because we were talking about the captain of the expedition coming up and showing up. When he goes to light up his pipe and he's like, "I'm sorry, there's no smoking in the skull cave."
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
According to IMDb, that guard, the whole unit, was originally loyal to the Phantom. Way back when, and then it got to a point where the Phantom had to become, a legend. So it kind of got whittled down to just the captain being, in the know.
Gotcha.
Also, another fun thing. Jimmy Wells, the rich guy that was trying to woo Diana, according to the Lee Falk, the writer creator of the Phantom, when he first created the character in 1936, so this character predates Superman. Fun little fact there. Jimmy Wells was supposed to be the Phantom's alter ego. A very wealthy guy pretending to be, a bachelor, playboy, whatever, philanthropist.
Yeah.
And then be a crime fighter, at night. But let's see, what does it say here? It basically kind of got shoved to the side. Like, that didn't really work out well. And then the character, he officially changed it to being the character of Kit Walker. And then Jimmy Wells got written out of the book. So it was kind of interesting to see him show up here. I thought that was kind of cool.
Huh.
Maybe that was just so that Kit could write him out of Diana's life.
Yeah, maybe.
But speaking of Diane, so when she gets home from wherever she was at the first time, and she's talking to her mom, and her mom's like, "Oh, how was your trip?" or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I got malaria," and their mom's like, "Oh, that's nice."
Her mom didn't give two shits.
Yeah.
I felt like she was I almost didn't believe that. I thought she was she knew her mom wouldn't give a shit, so she was just telling her all the stupid.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice in the first, when we first get to see the Phantom, when he's riding on the horse after the guys get the skull or whatever, before they get the skull, when he jumps off the horse and grabs a hold of the tree branch, it's a metal pipe. They didn't even try to disguise it.
It's what's the bars for gymnastics? What are those called?
The uneven bars looking thing.
Yeah, it's literally what it was.
And I just started laughing my ass off because I was like, they didn't even try. They wrapped one vine around it, and that was it. They didn't even try to paint it or anything. It was just a bar.
Yeah. Speaking of the vines, it was very convenient that when the rope bridge or the bridge snapped, all the vines just conveniently wrapped around the truck, so that when the bridge fell flipped over, the truck was still just holding on. That's okay. Magically,
well, it was a covered bridge.
It wasn't a covered bridge.
I know. Oh man. So
I don't know.
The scene where the mob people are in Drax's office and they're going over like the plan.
Yeah.
And the one dude's like, "No, I'm here to like be abusive to people and like shoot them and steal their shit. I'm not here for all this supernatural stuff." And he's like, "Charlie and I, we were altar boys at Saint whatever." And I was like, "Oh, Charlie and altar boy, look at that." Thinking of you, Chuck. Were you ever an altar boy?
An altar boy? No. I was I an altar boy? No, I was an usher. But no, because that's Catholic, right? Altar boys are just Catholic.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I was
New York in the 30s, especially the Italians. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. Catholics were all over the place. Yeah.
So, how well trained were those sharks at the end of the movie to just keep continuously circling that moat that Shang Tsung had in his hideout?
They had nothing else to do. Literally, that moat was just like.
I guess that's true. Could you imagine getting eaten by your own sharks, though? How embarrassing.
A little bit.
I do love that trope in old movies of here's a body of water with sharks in it, and they are just swimming in a circle. Like it's like again, this movie is like so pulpy in that way. Like that's such a like old timey pulp thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Pit of cats. I think isn't that a Venture Brothers thing? Cat Eye. Cats the one that's
yes, like the small cat face. Yes.
Yeah, small for an eyeball. Isn't it cat eye? And he has a pit of cats.
That tracks, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's like as soon as you said it, I'm like, why does that sound so familiar? Yeah, I think you're right.
Like there was the evil the coalition of something.
I need to finish the Venture Brothers. I think I got to like season 5 and then like 4 or 5 and then dropped off.
I think I have 3 seasons of it here that you gave me, so
it is I never realized because I went back and watched it, I think during COVID, how much I was missing because I wasn't fully paying attention. It is not a show that you can just like have on in the background if you've never seen it before, because the intricacies of how it's fucking written, where they don't pay it off later in the season. They pay it off seasons from like 2-3 seasons. They finally like do this random fucking callback that pays off this joke that they've been working on.
Yeah, like I've seen the first 3 seasons a lot, maybe 4 seasons, but after that it gets kind of like I was in and out, and I think because the show itself kept taking like 2-year breaks. So
it was just those 2 dudes.
Yeah, no, I know, I get it. Yeah. Like they didn't have a lot to do, a lot of time. But like the movie came out to wrap everything up. What, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And
even then, yeah,
I haven't yet.
Even then, it wasn't. It didn't really wrap a lot up. It didn't really. I mean, it does, but it also is like it definitely leaves it where like they could at any point pick it back up.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I'll get on it eventually.
So
it only took him 6 years to make it.
Shang Tsung's character in this, the great Kabai Sang, descendant of the evil Kabai Sang. I wonder what the Kabai Sangs in the middle of them had titles of. Because we have the great and the evil. Was there like the tiny and like the, like hairy, or I don't know.
It's on you. They weren't named Kabai. They were something else. The I don't know. The
in-betweens.
The other parents just didn't have faith in their offspring.
Also, when he tells the dude when he's like, we have an old pirate saying, and he says whatever it is, and he's like, what does that mean? He's like, fire the cannon. And the dude just sits there and like stares at the cannon.
Oh my god. I audibly laughed out loud when he was like loading the cannon, and it's the longest tilted down with the fuse lit already, which I did enjoy. And he's just like, what? With the gun?
Blast him all the way across the cave.
He gets blasted with a cannon point blank range, and nobody's covered in gore. His body would have exploded.
That's because it knocked him all the way across the cave.
Still though,
not one splatter. Not against the wall. Not when it hits him. Nothing.
It was actually a rubber bullet. It was a anti.
Because they knew not to fire that in this cave because it would took down the cave. An actual cannon would took down the cave.
Yeah, it was an anti-riot cannon.
It's just a dodgeball.
You're out. At the very end of the movie, when he takes off his mask, when he's talking to her on the island or whatever, he pulls off his mask and all of the makeup on his face comes off with it.
Yeah, that was
the eye makeup. 90s.
Batman did it all the time.
And then when he puts it back on, the makeup's back on. And Simon was saying something about it, and I was like, oh, it's just because it's actually attached to the mask. It's why it takes him so long to pull it off, is because it actually peels the makeup off his eyes. And then when he puts it back on, he's got to place his eyes back into.
I think that's one thing I liked about the Batman with Patterson, because he actually had the makeup on his eyes when he took his mask off. So that was always fun.
That was to hide the sparkle.
It was a good movie. Shut up.
I liked it. I did like it. I was just, a throwback to the vampire movie that he was in.
Sure.
Twilight. The thing is, it sucks because, he is actually legitimately a good actor, and he's done a lot of roles.
Oh, yeah.
But, and it's really good. But he will always be the fucking sparkling vampire because people like Ron exist. Nobody, it was his first, one of his first roles, and, why would you? I would have taken that fucking job, too.
Well, I'm sure it paid,
Yeah, they all hated that movie.
And a lot of famous people have come from those movies.
Sure.
Anna Kendrick was in there, apparently.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know, fourth one.
Yeah, she's in the first one.
I've never seen them.
Anna Kendrick's hot, though, so,
Honestly, it's not like Harry Potter. I do feel like you do have to watch it because he was
even in Harry Potter. Anyway.
Yeah, he was Cedric Diggory.
Yeah. It is not good. They're not great. They are not good. But if you showed it to like a teenage daughter and watched it with your teenage daughter, you would probably get why it was there would be an enjoyment there.
Okay.
Because it is you got to remember who it was fucking made for. It was made for teenage girls. You know what I mean? It's not meant to be good. It was not meant to be good.
So,
the books aren't good either. So, suck my dick, Twilight fans. Okay, Chris?
I don't think he's a Twilight fan.
All right.
I'm pretty positive he's a Twilight fan.
I don't know. I look at him and I think, Chris, he's a Twilight guy. He's Team Edward all the way. You know what I mean?
By the way, Chris did message me the other day because the episode just came out. What were we talking? Darkman 2?
Oh, yeah.
He's really happy that he's an inside joke now.
That's good.
Anyway, Ron, you were gonna say something?
I don't remember.
All right, cool. I've got nothing else.
Chuck, you got anything else?
No, I just really like this movie, so I don't really have anything to shit on about.
Dude, I had to I was just constantly writing while this movie was going on. I loved it. I was watching the whole thing, but I was constantly writing because there's stuff that would pop up, and I'm just like, oh man, I had a whole page of notes that we went through.
Good.
So Joey,
I've got like a half page of notes because I was actually watching the movie and enjoying it. Kill count of it was either 9 or 10. I don't really remember because I can't remember if I counted Drax dying or not, which I think I did. But then I don't know. I got 10. It's got 10.
Gotcha.
10.
Yeah, see that Batman? That's how you use non-lethal force.
Also, I do have I guess I'll say a limb count. I don't know. Fleming's eyes, the curator at the museum or whatever it is, library.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, his eyes get he didn't die. He just got his eyes poked out.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
So here's my thing on that. If you would have never seen the words liar with those blades embedded in that thing?
No, because you would not have.
Because they would have just been right there. That's all he would have ever seen.
I loved and unbelievably hated that scene like so much. Like I loved the concept of it. But the execution, like it's so campy and over the top and stupid that I walked away going like, oh, okay, that was actually pretty funny. I really like that. But the concept is so fucking stupid. And he sets it up saying like he is a bad person and he's got his way of getting things. And then is like he shows that the blades come out already. And I was just like, what? I didn't even realize what that thing was at first. And I'm just
Neither did Simon.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is like what are we doing here? And then brings the guy in and the whole letter. I was like, all right, I guess like nobody puts their face that close to it. I don't know. I'm just saying, like maybe it's just my I have a fear of shit going into my eyes like that. Like so like I would not look like I'll never look in a microscope now, I can tell you that.
Well, yeah, but nowadays
fuck with the dials first.
The microscopes are so powerful that you don't actually have to put your eyes on the lenses. They've got the display, like right there.
They've got a camera in there instead of having to actually look through the lenses now.
Yeah, so
good.
Don't have to worry about it. All right, so on to bingo.
Dead parents' responsibility thing, government interference, comic logic, ID revealed to a love interest, origin reveal, inability to control powers. Which would have been when he was trying to use the skulls.
Yeah, Xander.
Yeah.
Oh, the skull death beam.
Yeah.
We
had a villain monologue. We had a love triangle with yourself.
Kit
was in love with her. She was in love with the Phantom. The Phantom was in love with Kit.
So here's the thing about that. They talk about it in the IMDb. Apparently, there was a love story between the Phantom and Diana that got cut. But you don't ever actually see a love story between those two in the movie. You see maybe some light flirtation.
I'm pretty sure his dad says it's about time you got a bitch pregnant.
Kit obviously was like, oh, hey, yes, that was an old flame. I'm going to see if I can rekindle that. Whereas the Phantom, I mean, it's not really the Phantom himself. I don't think she had a love interest in him at the beginning. She figured out that he was the Phantom, and then kind of the attraction came. So, like, by the time he reveals it, she had already known.
Yeah,
obviously.
Anyways, love triangle with self.
Fuck off.
Sexual innuendo. Implied nudity because there was the girl running around in the towel in the thing. Misogyny, fight for control of something, and animal cruelty because there is no way that you ran that horse for as long as he ran that horse and that horse still lived.
Also, jumping on the back of the horse.
That's pretty bad, especially with two of them.
Yeah. Really, we're hurting yourself.
With no no, I guess he had a settle on the. Was there a settle on both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
because the cop horse and then his horse.
Yeah. I was thinking his horse for some reason didn't. Bareback.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So Spawn Cape.
I mean, so like practical effect again. I already read about it. I love the practical effects stuff. I think the set building was really like a lost art. The CGI explosion, like the green screen explosion, especially when the chains like finally unraveled and he jumps into the water like to escape, and it's very clear that the explosion looks like it's almost underneath him the way he like lines up with it and stuff. Yeah, some of the explosion stuff didn't look great, but I gave it a pass because so I'm gonna I still really liked it. I'm gonna say 2 out of 500.
Okay.
Spawn Capes.
Nice.
Very good. Not a Muppet.
Okay, so I've got a controversial take on this. There's only one Muppet, and it's the Phantom. And it's only when he's the Phantom. When he's Kid, he's still played by Billy Zane. Everybody else is live action there, and the Phantom is a Muppet.
So everybody's getting killed by a Muppet?
Yes.
Or not killed by a Muppet?
Not killed.
Not killed, but getting their asses kicked by a Muppet. Catherine Zeta-Jones is flirting with a Muppet.
Okay.
A Muppet catches her on a horseback from the airplane.
You know what? I do like that one.
But when he takes the mask off, when the mask comes off, he's actually Billy Zane.
I mean, I want to say Catherine Zeta-Jones here, just because I don't want to lose that. Yeah, but I think Drax is the only human is also really funny.
I mean, Drax, like, I loved his character.
Yes.
Because he is very, like, animated anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So him not being a Muppet,
in a good way.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you hit. I was gonna say the same thing because he just was wonderful as a villain.
You take the microscope scene in it now being a Muppet that gets its eyes pierced out would be really funny to me.
I also was thinking of having Quill not be a Muppet because he ends up killing the Phantom Muppet and then gets his ass beat up by another Phantom Muppet.
But the funniest thing would be him wearing the belt because it would be like a bracelet instead of a belt, or something like a collar.
Yep, I love it. So all those work. All those are great.
Oh, Joey, real quick, I wanted to mention this. So you're friends with Zack Snyder, right?
Yeah, not really. But
okay, no, he's been on your show. You guys are friends.
So yeah, good friend Zack Snyder.
I will not make fun of Zack Snyder for a whole year if he buys one of our shirts and wears it. So you get a hold of him, you tell him to order one of our shirts and wear it, and I will make a shirt that says "Give us the Zack Snyder cut," and Zack Snyder will be a Muppet.
I mean, I feel like you should make that shirt anyway.
I'll go one further. He does this. I bet that you can't even get him to just wear it if we sent it to him for free. But if we can get Zack Snyder in a Joe Cool Shoots the Wayne's Parents shirt, I just sent it to him like, hey, we just want to say thanks so much. We finally got merch. We'd love if you could just rep it on our
just wear it once, take a picture, post it online.
Yeah, just if you could just help us for.
And look, I will not say anything about Zack Snyder cuts or anything for a whole year.
I'll see what I can do. Yes. I'll talk to Matt. Shit. Okay. I don't see it happening, but you never know.
You never know. You never know. It's worth a shot.
Good friend Zack Snyder of ours. He seems like a guy who would go in on a joke. You know what I mean? Like he seems like a guy who absolutely wouldn't hold any sort of grudge towards anybody for not understanding the story that we're trying to tell here. You know what I mean? And then proceed to want to make it his own thing and then release maybe a longer version of that story. You know what I mean? So
yep.
But also, you need to start tagging him in our show notes whenever we talk about him.
Oh, that's literally everyone. I just now started posting again.
You should tag it former guest host continuous joke / good friend of show. Zack Snyder.
We'll see.
Good friend of his other show, though.
not at this show. Nobody likes this show.
Hey, that's not true. Jay Dean and Mutant X2372 both like the show.
Yeah, they actually both.
Shout out to Jay.
They both followed on YouTube. So thank you guys for following us on YouTube.
I made sure I wrote them down on the paper so I could shout them out this time around.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna need Mutant X, Jay, and Chris to meet up in a parking lot and fist fight to the death.
This is not Elite Eight Showdown.
The winner.
I accept everybody, not just one person.
I'm not done. And then the winner gets to become my new favorite thing to reference in the show. Okay, as my true best friend.
What does the show become?
What were we doing? Oh yeah,
We're
so
doing your scores.
Chuck,
We're up
your
for the scores. Chuck, what do you got out of 10?
All right, is this a Phantom movie? I'm gonna assume it is. It seems like a Phantom movie. I had a really good time with this. I stood in one spot and measured out ingredients like 120 times. So like I needed something to distract me. I forgot that movies used to be really good. And this was a really nice reminder because we've had some shitters lately.
Go get back to those in a minute.
And I really liked what this was doing. It was a very pulp. I like pulp, I realize now. And my score, it was tough because like I really enjoyed it and I paid attention to it as much as I could, but I didn't fully like sit down and like just nothing around me, you know. And I don't know if I would have been able to pick it apart more if I had done that. But yeah, this was like Princess Bride for me. This really like I had low expectations. I went in, I really enjoyed it. Do I like it as much as other stuff we've watched lately? Maybe. I think my final score is going to be a 7.49.
Okay,
that's not bad.
Not quite enough to clear a strike from Joey, but
I don't have a strike yet.
Oh, you count your fucking days, buddy. Like,
I know next week is gonna give me one.
Watching the Star Trek, so we're gonna get.
Yeah.
I was really surprised I didn't get a strike on barbed wire. So
I
they were
liked
big
it.
hard.
I had to get that. Yes, but I was just surprised. That's all I'm saying.
Rock hard fake titties will get me there every time, my guy.
Okay.
I would have cleared a strike if you had one.
It's all good. Ron, what you got?
All right, so I watched this. My mom's ex-boyfriend had satellite TV, right? And so he had like 5 HBOs.
Okay.
And this was on HBO like for probably a summer or something. And so like it would be on like this HBO, and then as soon as it was done on this one, it would be on the next HBO, and then like so on. And I remember watching this thing back to back to back. Like I loved this movie as a kid, and I still loved it today. It was awesome. I got to watch it with Simon. Simon loved it. I ordered it on Blu-ray, so I have a copy of it, so I can watch it again.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. I have had the hots for Catherine Zeta-Jones ever since I saw her in this. Obviously, I had Christy Swanson in it, who was also Buffy, and she's packing an ass in this movie. Fantastic. I love the action. I love the it was like I said earlier, it was just serious enough that they didn't take it seriously, and it was fantastic. We had like Drax was over the top. We had great. It was just a lot of fun. I enjoyed this a whole lot. I gave this a 9.38.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
Looking at it. What is behind you?
Like right there?
Yeah.
That's a window in my bathroom.
Oh,
the bathroom door is open and like half the window's showing.
That's
I
was like, I thought it was a mouse cursor, but I was like, I'm on my phone. That's not, how do I have that? I was very confused.
Joey?
All righty. I love this movie. It's a nostalgia movie for me. Like I said earlier, I used to watch this and Rocketeer all the time. My dad, who loved to get movies, would rent them and then record them, and then we had them. So, all the illegal shit, pirating.
It's only legal if you try to sell them,
which we never did. So,
see,
it's only illegal if you get caught. First off.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Why would they
in jail?
Yeah, here you go. Here's the dust.
Blow it in their face and throw him. Oh, he escaped.
Whoops. No, I love it. Again, love this movie. Grew up watching it. I would watch it periodically, from time to time, whenever. I know I've talked about it, and I don't know if we'll actually watch it because it was a mini series, but there was a sequel, which makes no sense because it is supposed to be his son, but time-wise, it came out in 2009, so he wouldn't really be his. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But like I said, because it was a mini series on Sci-Fi, I don't think we'd actually watch it. It was 2 movies, so who knows? But this character is great. Like I've never read the comics before. Like it's one of those where I know the character when I see him, and I know that they have. I think it's not Dark Horse. What's the one company that has
Dynamite?
Is it Dynamite? Thank you.
Yeah, it's Dynamite.
Like they've made the comic. They brought the comics back a lot of times and redone the series a lot of times. So like the character is still, out there.
Yeah, he's with like Guardians of Earth or Defenders of Earth or whatever with like Flash Gordon and
Shadow and
somebody
there's another
else.
one. Yeah, like a Green Hornet, I think.
Black Terror.
Yeah, Black Terror. Yes.
Yeah.
So like he's still very prominent, if you will. I mean, prominent in a lower tier, but still prominent. I'm right there with you. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Christy Swanson, love them both. The guy who played Drax was just amazing in this one. James Remar, another character that actually like did a good job. Like the cast was really good. Allegedly, Bruce Campbell and Kevin Smith, not Kevin Smith, Silent Bob Kevin Smith, but Kevin Smith from
so why'd you do that with your hands? Why'd you do that with your hands though?
Because back at this time he was big. Yeah. In the 90s he was a fat Kevin Smith. But Kevin Smith from Hercules and Xena, I think he was Ares.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that Kevin Smith.
Okay.
He's dead.
He did. He passed away in like the mid 90s, sometime after late 90s.
Early 2000s, I think.
I can't remember what was
either way.
Yeah, either way. Like apparently those two were in the running for becoming the Phantom, and I'm like, either one of those would have worked. Like they both would have been decent. But I do like Billy Zane. Billy Zane, I thought, did a really good job. And apparently he also lifted, as IMDb said, pumped iron for a year, which is just lifting weights. But for a year to get his muscle, body shape, and tone and everything. They apparently had made a suit with padded muscles on it, but by the time they started filming, they're like, "Yeah, no, we don't need this now. He actually is pretty damn buff."
Nice.
So, pretty awesome.
And you can tell like the suit fits him really, really well.
Yeah,
it's not padded or anything.
Which is why
minus
he shaved
the
his
mask.
head.
Yeah, but the mask did look a little goofy. At least I thought looked a little goofy, but everything else looked really good on him. Like this is in an era where like the suits are gonna look really good before they start getting like just turning into armor or like
they start to go too far. Because I mean, a couple years from this in '99 is X-Men, where it's just we can't have them in actual costumes, which don't know why. Totally could have,
because that covers the actors' faces, and then you don't know who's playing them.
I mean, that's more prevalent
Joey,
now. But
your score was.
I like to talk around it. No, I love this movie. Great movie. I gave it an 8.35. Because there still is a couple movies that I liked a little more. Like I was looking at my list, and I'm like, I kind of like this one a little bit more than that one, and so on and so forth. But that gives us a combined score of 8.41, which puts it in our top 10 out of 149 movies. This is in our top 10 at number 6, just behind Superman with an 8.5, and just above Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope at a 8.31.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think it's a really good spot.
I think I like this better than A New Hope.
Dick Tracy would be our new number 8, 8.27. Tank Girl
wasn't Dick Tracy like 3 or 4 at one point?
Yeah, 3 at one point in time.
Are you looking at your list again?
No. Maybe.
Okay.
No.
Maybe.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Well, no, but we have to remember we watched, Trick or Treat is number 1, Terminator 2, Tank Girl, Empire Strikes Back. Like we had some good movies.
That's true.
Kind of beat it out.
I guess Dick Tracy was like over a year ago at this point, wasn't it?
It's been some time. Yeah.
It's been a while.
But yeah, so there's that. That's all I got.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Billy Zane was a good cast for this. I mean, he was like really hot at that time anyway. He was kind of like becoming like the new George Clooney.
This is around Titanic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Titanic was 94?
95.
Was it? Okay.
I don't remember, but I just know he was in Titanic. He
plays the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, bad guy.
I always confuse.
Pretty sure the iceberg was the bad guy.
No, hey, the iceberg was just doing its thing, okay?
Yeah, the iceberg. No, you can't blame the iceberg. The iceberg just existed.
You're right. It's capitalism is bad guy.
That's right.
That's accurate. Yes. I actually just watched a thing recently that said that them trying to avoid because they just did a big thing where they went down and took a bunch of pictures of the other half of the boat, and they have like a beautiful like 3D rendering now of like what the other half of the boat looks like.
They had the unmanned things that went down there and just took pictures of every single surface they could find.
And they like have figured out that like them missing, like trying to avoid it, the iceberg is what sunk it, because it was designed that if it hit it dead on, it would have crushed a bunch of it, but it would have been able to stay afloat.
It probably would like stop them. Like
so what happened was it punctured more than 4 of the lower chambers, and it was only supposed to have 3 of them that could fill up before the ship would sink. But if it would have been less than 3 of them, it would have been fine. And if they would have hit it head on, it would have only hit the first one or the first 2, and then the ship would have been ship would have been fine. But because they tried to go away from it, it breached the whole side of it and sank the whole ship.
Yeah, it's interesting. Fascinating.
Awesome.
Anyways,
it's kind of crazy that happened so long ago, and yet people still give a shit about it. Like, who fucking cares? Like that boat was dumb as fuck, and we've made boats bigger than that now. Like, who cares? Anyway, you can find me on the internet at Kicked Out of the Hood, No Eating Kicked. You can find my hobby page, Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Eating Kicked, where I paint my miniatures. I haven't had any time to do that. I did today. I painted a little bit today. I'm painting up my Goliath Necromunda gang. And I'm also probably, if I ever get around to it, talking about comics. And I got this new one. It's humongous. It is, I believe it's pronounced Slain. Slain. It's a 2080.
Slain?
Yeah. I think it's Slain, but it has like a tilde over the A, by Pat Mills and Simon Bisley. This thing's fucking huge and gorgeous. The Horned God Anniversary Edition, I'll be reading that. I mean, I'll do reviews about it. I don't know. I feel like I need something else to go up. I also got this. I also got Mars Attack versus Judge Dredd, because it's fucking awesome. So love that. Shout out to Peps. Peps, you bastard, you make me spend my money. Ronald, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Good This Game. You can find my art on Instagram at Good Art This Game. You can also find my art on our shirts on TeePublic and Redbubble. And hopefully soon on Zack Snyder's chest. Joey, where can they find you?
No promises on that one. You can Comic Book Rundown on the social media. You can find it there. You email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice. If you do, we'll read an upcoming episode like we did with Jay and X Mutant.
Mutant X.
Whatever. Thank you. Sorry. I apologize. Mutant X. Apologize. Thank you. Ron mentioned our shirts.
Yeah, don't scare away our new friend, okay? Goddamn.
Chuck and I, at the end of the month, we do Getting Franchised.
Hey.
Our one time a month retro. What do we call like relook at?
We look at the latest and greatest in movie franchises and other things. I started writing season 2, figuring out what we're gonna watch. Holy shit, bud! It's gonna be a mess.
I'm looking forward to that one. I know we gotta get together for the next recording here soon. We gotta figure out a date for that.
Yeah, spoilers. We're changing it up a little bit. We are watching franchises that have fallen into public domain. And so immediately horror movies were made about them. Of course, the whole first season we're doing horror movie franchises. And we'll be doing Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Popeye the Slayer Man.
Yep.
Which was Popeye the Slayer Man was shot locally in my town, which was like really cool for a little tiny little town. The creator went to the college here, which has like a film and theater degree. So it's kind of cool.
So that episode should be coming out in July. I don't know.
Listen,
I can't remember where we're at on things.
You know what? Spoilers. We probably liked one better than the other, if I had to guess.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then we also our song was done by Cam, who was formerly known as the
Dr. Father, formerly known as Cam.
Whatever. You see how much I care.
He's the former Cam.
You know, we don't see how much Cam cares because he never comments on the show.
Yeah, I don't think he listens.
I don't know if you know this, but he's a doctor and a father. So
I don't think he's
you can't pop this on while you're cutting into somebody during surgery. Come on.
He's not a medical doctor. He's a doctor of fine arts. He teaches theater.
Oh, well, shit. In that case, he's fine. He should be listening to this every day.
You hear that, Jordan? Go tell Cam to listen to us.
Jordan! Man, we haven't talked about Jordan in so long. Jordan, when are you going to come back on the show?
I could have had him on the Star Trek ones, but had Chris instead.
Bring him on specifically for next week.
I thought about that. I thought about reaching out to him 4 or 5 in particular, but
he does like bad movies.
Torture him like with that. Anyway, our next movie, you guys guessed it, is Star Trek 5. I've already anticipated the strike because I'm pretty sure I'll give it one myself.
Who knows? You have
what's the whole title of Star Trek 5?
Star Trek 5. Why are we making this? Hold on.
That seems legit.
The final chapter.
No, that was 6. Voyage Home was 4. Star Trek 5.
Star Trek Capitalism.
The Final Frontier.
Oh. They make that sound like that's the last one.
I think it was gonna be.
But then they needed a paycheck.
I'll figure it out when I look at the notes, and we'll go from there. Maybe if Chris is listening to this, he will let me know in the past.
Just like a month ago
about it. Maybe I'll ask him. I don't know.
All right.
So, yeah, there we go. Star Trek 5, Final Frontier next week. Yeah. I got nothing. Phantom was awesome. Go watch Phantom again.
And so Scooby-Doo, you want Scooby-Doo, but they taste like cardboard.
I guess I didn't realize I'm also wearing the Scooby-Doo shirt.
Real quick, Scooby-Doo. Is that horror? Do you classify it as horror?
No.
Maybe more thriller or mystery.
I mean, it's a comedy.
I know, but like, is it not horror for kids, essentially?
I think it's mystery for kids.
Yeah, it'd be more mystery for kids.
But it's always monsters. It's always a monster.
Yeah, you know what?
But it's always a person that's in a monster mask.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, but
those were monsters, actually.
But so is everything else. And the movies become even more supernatural.
Yeah. You know, when we get to the movies, we can have that discussion.
That's fair. Yeah, because it's interesting.
Is the show still recording?
It is.
Yeah. I said Scooby-Doo.
He said Scooby-Doo like 45 times.
He did, but we had a fun little conversation about Scooby-Doo. So now we can Scooby-Doo out here.
Scooby-Doo.